It is, I mean, for some of us, I guess we're already starting the holiday weekend. I know I am. I took today off. I think our business in healthcare is recognizing Monday for the holiday. Since it technically falls on Sunday, we get Monday off, but I took off today as well. So I thought, what better way to celebrate than to put out some content and some gaming news here. I thank you for being here. I appreciate your alert, and I hope you're having a great morning with your little man. Love the content you've been putting out on Mulehorn Gaming, and we really need to get together and play some Halo pretty soon. Don't feel like you need to respond, but just wanted to let you know I had you in my thoughts, and I'm hoping we can get some gaming in this weekend. So I've been kind of following the gaming news lately. We put together, I guess before I get into that, I put together an article last night. Through the week, Mulehorn Gaming and our community has got together, and I wasn't able to capture all of our recommendations from the community, but I did get some of them, and I got in some of our staff's recommendations on games that maybe you should consider playing that are in the GamePass. GamePass is a great option to get games at a cheap. Hey Pyro, how's it going? Game Pass, the power of Game Pass really brings the barrier of entry down, and now you don't even need an Xbox to play it. Game streaming is now live out of beta for browsers. I can actually show you how to do that real quick. How you doing, Pyro? Been thinking a lot of you with this heat wave. Did that affect y'all out there? Did it get a little cooler for you? It's doubled. Make sure I may not have something mute. How's that? Are you still getting a lot of hot weather out there, or is it cooled off for you any? So anyways, what I was going to show you, it might be your gain setting. Is that better? Test, test. So it's really as simple as coming over xbox.com/play if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, and then you can literally stream. I was playing Batman Arkham Knight last night. Let's see how fast. I don't have my controller set up, so it may not pull me into it. You don't really get a lot of hot weather? Nice. I didn't know if that heat wave was affecting you at all. So it's already up and running. I mean, I'm not going to play this. I just wanted to show you how fast it kind of loads. We can do a test. Can you bring me my Xbox controller since y'all run off with all of them?
I have them.
I know you have them.
You have to sync it.
And I'm just waiting on my controller. Add Bluetooth. There we go, connecting. So this would be even faster if I'd actually already had my controller connected. So they've also upgraded all the blades to Series X. So a lot of the games that you're playing now is playing on hardware that's not even available in the stores. So I literally just started this game last night. I don't even think I'm out of the intro yet. Oh, you got you a new chair? Nice. We've been getting a lot of violent thunderstorms and a lot of rain. Not so good. I'm gonna be, I'm off today, and I'm gonna be playing just a little bit of whatever. You're welcome to jump in with me if you have time, Pyro, but I don't have a lot going on this weekend, so yeah, this isn't, I wouldn't say streaming quality, but if you're just wanting to play a game, save space on your hard drive, save a TV, you know, maybe games like this that aren't. This one I don't know. Let's see if I can get in a fight with somebody real quick. This one I would say was probably relies a little bit on input. It feels a little floaty. I wouldn't do PvP through the cloud. See if I can find somebody. There we go. So I can get that counter. So I got the counter. Yep, he hit me. So yeah, I don't know if this one would be a good one, but just to show how quick it loads, and then I mean you're saving space on your hard drive. Play games that maybe you wouldn't otherwise buy, you know, right off the bat. This fight, I'll probably turn this off. I just think the GamePass is really cool because I don't own this game. I've always wanted to play it, but I don't own it. I've played the first and second one.
Don't hurt me. Good.
Man, I guess playing games with you. I didn't even catch that, Pyro. We'll let that one slide. You usually have to take me out to dinner and a movie first.
I caught it.
Speaking of which, we're thinking of going to see Fast 9 tomorrow, so that'll be our first time back in the theater. Have I seen Knockout City? I actually wrote up a quick, I haven't played it, I wrote up a quick thing on Knockout City yesterday. We can look at that now. So this is something I got together with the community on early in the week. Took recommendations for kind of what games are you looking forward to playing over the holiday weekend. And Mulehorn Gaming in the community, we all got together, and I wasn't able to capture them all because this was getting kind of lengthy, so I may go back and revisit those tweets and try to get some more. I haven't quite played Knockout City yet. I was going to try to see if the girls want to play it with me this weekend. I think it looks really cool. We can look at the video real quick. I don't have to do these in any certain order.
You're listening to KO City Pirate Radio. I'm taking over the airwaves to welcome all you new brawlers out there. Lace up your shoes, tie back your hair, and kiss your mama goodbye. This is Knockout City.
I think it looks really fun.
Looking to make a name for yourself? Your humble DJ's here to talk you through those first brawl jitters. Team KO, round one. Let's
See
start
this
with the
familiar?
basics. Get a hit before they hit you. Oh, that looked like it hurt. You gotta learn to catch if you wanna, like that. This cat's got it
Crash.
figured out. On a quest to be the best. They're putting their skills to the
Fresh
test.
over there.
And class is in session, baby.
Played one game and lost, but I enjoyed it.
Oh man, that's just me.
I know
admit it,
Sniper
You cool.
really likes
But
this game.
some
If you know
advice.
Sniper. He's been
Get
asking me to play
yourself
with
a
him for a
crew.
while and I just hadn't got around to it. I haven't got a
Going
lot of
solo in this city will only get
gaming
you
time
so
in
far.
lately.
When brawlers unite, it's like poetry in motion. But hey,
Like something you want to play?
it's not all throws and KOs. Go the extra
It's,
mile
dodgeball.
and define that style. And as your crew ups its ranking on the streets, there's an opportunity to claim some serious loot.
Oh, cool. Character customization.
Okay, back to the action.
Kind of gives me a Splatoon feel.
I'm telling you, this city has it all. Team KO, face off,
Different gameplay,
all
but
up brawl. There's
Similar
many
in-
brawls to play, and a lot more on the way. You've got environments that
Like a
can
theme,
fight
I
for
suppose.
you, and weapons that can change the tide of battle. If these tools of domination can't get the job done, well, you can.
your teammate can turn it into a ball.
Full KO. Just remember, this ain't dodgeball. It's dodge brawl.
That's funny.
Gotcha. Pass to me.
Crew up and show me what you got. I'll be watching.
Yeah, so Pyro recommends this. Other members of the Mulehorn Gaming community have recommended Knockout City. I mean, what better way if, you know, it's kind of hard to get together and just get a pickup game of dodgeball going. You need quite a few people to do that. But if you can go play a game that's free in GamePass and play dodgeball, that sounds like a great time to spend a few hours of the holiday weekend doing that. So for those of you that might be coming across this on YouTube or Twitch, I'm a contributor to Mulehorn Gaming. This just posted 30 minutes ago, an hour. And it's kind of something we got together to kind of put together a recommendation, a smorgasbord, if you will, video game pairings to go with your holiday weekend. And maybe you're having barbecue and food and friends over, or maybe you're just hanging out at the house, you know, with your family. All these games can kind of be enjoyed, I think, either in co-op or single player. Games are both featured here. Halo's always going to be a great one. I know Hero and I have both been really getting back into Halo. I think he's playing a little bit more than I am. I'm still kind of been playing a lot of Battle Royale, Warzone stuff. But I've been dipping back into Halo on lunch breaks and things like that. And the new season, I believe it's 7, is out, so new content to grab. If you're looking for a Spartan company, feel free to hit me up. I'm always looking for players, friends, even if you're already in your own Spartan company. I like to network and get big team battles going and things like that. Dark Alliance, I know it didn't get the best reviews when it launched. But a lot of us, I haven't played it personally, but a lot of the Mulehorn Gaming guys on staff, Mulehorn himself, Thaddeus, I believe, both are playing it, and maybe some of the others. I think Lupo was trying it out. I think he prefers the PC version, is what I heard him say. Something about the controls. He didn't quite think they were just there yet. But Dark Alliance has had a lot of hype around it, and I think some of the critiques of it were not fair. I think it's fair to say that it's a better game enjoyed co-op. Big Team Battle is where it's at in Halo. I love Big Team Battle mode. We'll watch this real quick. But basically this is a Dungeons and Dragons game, and based off of kind of this RPG elements and things. You pick a hero to play as. I believe there's 4, there may be more. But this game has been really enjoyable for some members of staff and the community as well. And this was one of the recommendations, that this is in GamePass, and it's a good option to play it there if you're not wanting to drop full price on a game that's still a little bit buggy at launch. One of the great benefits to GamePass is that, it's $10 a month. You get to play this, and if you're really enjoying it, you just save $50, and then you can roll that out. I mean, Game Pass pretty much pays for itself on these day one drops. So let's watch this trailer real quick.
Welcome to Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. A non-stop, heart-pounding, kill everything that moves action brawler with co-op. The story. Dark Alliance takes place in the frigid world of Icewind Dale. You might need to take a sweater. You will explore varied and iconic locations in the frozen north, including Calvin's Cairn, this is it, the Hinterlands, and Dwarven Valley. Here lies the ancient and powerful Crystal Shard. If it falls into the wrong hands, darkness could blanket this realm. So naturally, this power attracts legendary monsters, and they've formed a Dark Alliance. They've set aside their differences to capture the shard and its powers. You and your party are the only ones standing in their way. So you're quite important. The party. This is Drizzt. He's fast, he's powerful, he's got 2 Z's in his name, and as a trick he does at parties sometimes, he can summon this big gal. Catty Bree. Ranged or up close, she's in control of the battlefield. I wish I could do that. Wolfgar. He's the muscle. Big hammer. Big power. Big everything? Who's to say? Bruna, the protector. Look at his resplendent beard. He can take a beating, but he'll give one back.
That is a nice beard.
The combat. In Dark Alliance, combat is everything. Each hero has over 50 moves and abilities to unlock, which is only slightly more than myself. I have 49 and a half. If you think that sounds too hardcore, it's not for me. Don't worry, we've created an emergent combat system that will easily have your character switching between the most epic attacks in the game. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa! Of course, if you do want to get hardcore, and who doesn't sometimes, there's a lot to master. You have light, heavy, and special attacks that can be chained together into powerful combos. Ooh, glad that's not me. And you have dodges, parries, and counters to defend against the hordes of enemies. I'm just going to warn you though, these attacks and counters deplete your stamina, which you definitely don't want to run out of mid-combat. Trust me, I've done it, it's embarrassing. Then there are more powerful abilities and ultimates that deplete your ultimate meter. That gets filled the better you do in combat. There's also attacks like empowered strikes, which can deal devastating critical damage on a successful hit. The enemies. Look at these a-holes right here. I bet they didn't get enough hugs as baby goblins. Throughout your journey, you're going to run into over 30 different enemy types. And of course, if you're fighting minions, that means there's bosses. Big bosses. Huge bosses, which is like big bosses, but bigger. Probably some bosses that always call without texting first. Even new bosses being added throughout the year that I haven't even seen yet. Awesome. Take on any boss in the army in any order you want, although I'd start with this one because he threw mud at me. The gear. What's D&D without loot to grab, collect, and make your own? As you level up your character, you can level up your gear, decking out your hero at base camp before each mission. Your loot will range from common all the way up to legendary status. And there's no microtransaction here. If you want the best gear, you need to earn it one battle at a time, the way my grandmother did. The co-op. You can absolutely take on this adventure on your own. But sometimes stabbing evil creatures with pointy weapons is just more fun to do with friends. It's a well-loved social activity. Dark Alliance was made to be played with others, so you can jump into a quick play or make a custom game all your own. When you play together, you unlock new attacks and abilities for your team. Each hero has a unique way to trigger team attacks. Ha ha ha! Wow, that looked very intense. And everyone has their own special attack. dealing out devastating damage. But be warned, the bigger your team gets, the tougher the monsters become.
Okay, so it scales to your team.
Well, we hope you enjoyed hearing about Dark Alliance. And remember, if
I've
you
not
find yourself in
I've not
possession
seen
of a
Hood
crystal
Outlaws
shard
yet.
that gives you ultimate power, because it happens, try not to be a dick about it. Dungeons and Dragons, Dark Alliance.
So yeah, the guys are really enjoying this one. And it is in GamePass. Actually, if you want to hear more about what they have to say about Dungeons and Dragons, Dark Alliance, and our thoughts on the importance of having kind of your mom and pop news outlets on video games, like Mulehorn Gaming, for example, or others, see the Analog Assault podcast from last night. They really got into, IGN really rated this game poorly. I think they gave it a 4. And sometimes it's like when the big news outlets come out and they don't give a fair and objective review, the market seems to skew that way, and the players are going, but wait, it's not that bad. So that's kind of been where we have been this week with Dark Alliance. A lot of players have been saying it's not near as bad as you're making it out to be, and we're having a lot of fun with this. Yeah, it's buggy, and it has some room for growth, but for it being in the Game Pass, we're having a lot of fun playing with our friends. So that's kind of where Mulehorn Gaming's at on it, and you can get more at the Analog Assault podcast on YouTube or on Spotify. Gears of War, I know Pseudonym and myself both love this franchise. He actually nominated this one, but I kind of went in and gave a little bit of mine and Britt's history on playing these. I just love Gears of War as far as a video game is concerned. The story is amazing. It's a cinematic franchise. It's one of the ones that, this and Halo really launched Xbox into a place. It's one of their exclusives and one of their capital flag titles, I would say. And it's just really awesome as a video game just in itself. But for myself and Britt, this was a game that we were playing when we were dating. And then when we were married, I think Gears of War 2 was dropping, and then when we were starting our family, Gears of War 3 was dropping. So it kind of had these installments at these really pivotal times in our life, and it's a series we always love to come back to. And it's kind of sentimental to us. We just really love this, and Halo too. But playing couch co-op through these games has always been one of our favorites. So this is a rated mature stream, so I'm going to click this. I don't think we have any. Gears of War, Halo equals GOAT. That's exactly right.
For a time, the humans of Serra knew the illusion of peace. Until Emergence Day.
This is the Ultimate Edition, so this is upgraded from the one that we played originally.
In time, their valiant defense was crushed.
When was the last time you played through these, Pyro?
Humans denied their enemy control.
I haven't played a lot of Gears 5.
By destroying
I played some
their
Horde
own
mode on Cloud the
civilization.
other day. It was actually playing pretty good.
Now, the long struggle against overwhelming odds approaches a final, desperate.
There's something about that Lancer chainsaw melee, man, so fun. And Halo 5 is just a gorgeous game. This is the Ultimate Edition.
Xbox One exclusive.
Redid the original before Halo 5 was out. But they're all in Game Pass. Even, I know some people didn't like Judgment, but I even like Judgment, where you get to play as Baird and kind of get an origin story of his character and Coltrane. It's just such a good storyline. You kind of get this Band of Brothers feel, and then in the later games they started bringing in the heroines in Gears 4 and 5, and it's just really good. I mean, you had what's her face? She wound up marrying. Well, never mind. I better not go there. That could be a spoiler for someone. I know Pseudo is still playing through, but there was a heroine that became more prevalent in 2 and 3, and it's kind of in the backstory again as other heroines come to the forefront in 4 and 5. But originally it starts off as Band of Brothers, and I think they really did a good job of bringing in some female leading roles. Plague Tale. This is one I have not played. I have it installed. I am going to be playing that. I haven't decided. I may even stream it. I may start streaming it tomorrow. I may install it to the computer. I've got it installed on my Xbox. I'm kind of going back and forth of where I want to play it at. But actually, next week on the 6th, a graphical update is dropping into GamePass for the original Plague Tale Innocence, and later in 2022, I don't think we have a release date yet, the sequel of Plague Tale Requiem will be released. This is highly recommended by Radical. She has played through these and really loves them, or loves this story to this game. So let's watch this real quick, and then we'll move on to this next one I have played, and I highly recommend it.
Amicia, I want to see Mommy.
Where is he?
Run, Hugo, run!
I think it's really impressive what they've been doing with these games.
No one can escape.
Cinematic story.
We call this odorous.
Where is your son?
You have come to challenge me?
This was featured at E3 and was kind of a surprise to everybody. We were watching it with Mulehorn Gaming, and we're like, that. I think Radical pointed out that might be Plague Tale. But that's when it really got my attention. Innocence didn't really hook me when it first came out. I don't know, it just flew under my radar. But that E3 reveal really got me, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I think it's really amazing what these games are doing and pushing the envelope in the way they tell stories, their music, the narrative that they bring, and this tale of companionship between these two. I think it's going to be a great one. Got a lot of awards and stuff. Another one that got a lot of awards was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This came out a couple years ago, and it was recommended by the Mulehorn Gaming community. I did play this. It is amazing. If you've got a nice headset, it doesn't even have to be top end. You can get this spatial sound enabled on your Xbox. It's native. There's 2 ways you can do it. I've got Dolby Atmos on mine. I think I grabbed Dolby Atmos right before the Windows Sonic came out, but Windows Sonic is on all the Xbox Ones, and Series S and Series X's have spatial sound as well. So there's a link in the article here that'll describe how you can enable that. Highly recommend that you do so, because the sound alone in Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is phenomenal. There are several parts in the game that literally gave me chills. Just it's got like 3D. I mean, Atmos kind of makes everything 3D, and when the developers utilize that well, and Ninja Theory really does, it can really be a game changer, and it is. It would sound like someone, like surround sound, like someone was walking around behind you whispering in your ear, and it would just make the hairs on my arms stand up. Just insane, the way they can do these. This one won so many awards. 5 BAFTA Game Awards, including Best British Game, Best Artistic Achievement, Best Game Beyond Entertainment, Best Performer, Best Audio Achievement. It was also received recognition at 2017 Game Awards, winning Best Audio Design, Best Performance, and Best Game for Impact. In this game, you play as a Celtic warrior who embarks on a haunting vision quest into Viking hell to fight for the soul of her dead lover. It's created in collaboration with neuroscientists and people who experience psychosis. So it kind of pushes the envelope and tries to emulate what a person with psychosis would feel as you're playing through the game. It does that through its visual rendering and probably leans more heavily into the audio, I would say, than anything, because it really does get kind of trippy and surreal at points in this game. And for that, it's rated mature, so we'll watch this real quick. But I highly recommend this game. Don't know if I can say any more else about it other than that, but the story is superb. The sequel will be coming out. We don't have a launch date for it yet, but it's also a Game Pass day one drop.
You hear them too, right?
They're watching. Can you see them? They're going to do that to you.
We picture fear, and we think of a shadow in the woods, creature in the night.
What's happening? Help me.
If only it were that simple.
Maybe you're already dead.
Who are you? She once tried to make them go away. Mother,
Do you hear them?
pretend they weren't real.
Who's that?
But what good is that?
Do you see their faces?
When we are always here.
This is what happens when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside.
With every defeat, the dark rot will grow, and soon it will take her soul.
They're in the darkness.
But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow.
She is so tough too.
Whatever
She goes through absolute hell to this game,
Everyone could see it in the hollow
mentally
of
and
your
physically.
eye.
What's your name?
A gaze averted from light.
Senua.
You should become a warrior, you know.
You ran from it but brought it nearer. Led it to him. An endless suffering, worse than death. And you wanted to surrender. Abandon to find peace with the gods. So you will walk into the lair of the beast, look it in the eye, and you will go to war.
We'll say the combat system is a little... It expects you to figure it out, I think, a little bit on your own. Like, there's a little tutorial, but it seems like there's not much there, and as you get deeper into the game, you start to realize there's a little bit more to the combat than you realize. At least that was my experience. But I'm hoping to see it expanded. What's up, Rubric? What are you doing, man? Just kind of going over my most recent article with Mulehorn Gaming. We all got together and put together kind of the smorgasbord of gaming recommendations we think everybody should play over the holiday weekend. So that was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I did remember as we were watching that one other point I'd like to make. This game, for it being as old as it is, it's not that old. It came out in 2018, but that can be an age in video game space and time. but it was ahead of its time as far as graphics and audio. It really pushed the envelope using the 1X. It was one of the first games to have both a 4K resolution setting and a 60 FPS high frame setting. So that is actually that tech is just now really being evolved on the Series X and S, but was present back in 2018 with this game on the 1X. So highly recommend looking into those settings if you're going to play this. This is in Game Pass. You can stream this one too, I believe. Just got up, saw you were on, so I hopped in. Sleeping in today, man? Did you actually take today off?
Dad, someone just almost killed me, and I had 20 health because he sniped me, and I killed him somehow.
Oh, you turned it around on him, huh?
Yeah,
good
he
job.
had full health.
Millie's over here playing Fortnite. So MLB The Show 21, this was huge. Just that it's even actually available on Xbox at all, much less being in the Game Pass. This has historically been a PlayStation exclusive, but the developers were looking to get some more exposure to the franchise and brought it over to Game Pass. So this is one I have downloaded and have been playing around doing a little bit here and there. I'm not really usually playing sports games, but the Mulehorn Gaming community loves this game, loves that it's available in Game Pass, and I love the fact that it's there too and that everyone can enjoy it. I'm probably going to try to carve out some time for myself to probably bat around in it, have me a beer, and just play around in a sports game. It's always kind of nice sometimes to unwind and get out. You know, these games, I love them, but they can be a little dark and intense. I'm sure Plague Tale will be as well. Me and Rupert both spend a lot of time in the battle royales and multiplayer, and sometimes it's just nice to unwind with a nice sports game or something a little chill. Injustice. This was one of my personal ads. You know, Snyderverse has been out for a little bit. I think we've probably all seen it. But, you know, if you've seen it, you know that it finally does kind of give some credence and some voice to where Zack Snyder really wanted to take his story from, you know, Superman, Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and then kind of the letdown that the original Batman movie was. So the Snyder Cut really kind of got to revisit that Justice League feel and kind of fill out the story and brought in Darkseid. But we really don't have any promise of seeing where the story would have went from. So they gave out Injustice, Gods Among Us, and Games with Gold Game Pass, or Games with Gold, and now in Game Pass you can play Injustice 2. So I did that over the last few weeks. After the kids and wife were in the bed, I played through these. I'm not usually playing fighting games, but the story in this just totally pulled me in. Once I was playing, I would probably put in a couple hours each time. I just couldn't put it down. It would take you from fight to fight to fight. You're progressing and seeing the battle between Superman's loyal followers and Batman's insurgents as they try to stand up to the regime and take down Superman. And then in Justice 2, Superman is imprisoned, and then you've got Brainiac, who is a massive threat to Earth, coming in to wipe out Earth and enslave Earth. And Kara, or Supergirl, has entered the mix, and you don't really know if she's going to line up with Superman or if she's going to team up with Batman. How are they all going to come together to take down Brainiac, or are they at all? So that's kind of where Injustice 2 is. It's really good. I probably preferred the story in Injustice Gods Among Us, but Injustice 2 is pretty good as well. The gameplay in
Peggy
Injustice 2 is
16.
awesome.
Savior. Monster. Guardian. Vigilante. The preservation of life. So often, the justification for taking it. Humans, elevating those that keep guard until they watch too close, and the so-called hero condoning the very act he would condemn. The transgressions of the past shape actions to come. As offspring turns into adversary, yesterday's loss leads to madness. And God becomes tyrant, becomes outcast, becomes dust, as factions dissolve and form, and lust for power enslaves all. Such folly and futility in the grand design. Curious how lines once clearly defined become blurred.
Rubric, this game's out right now on GamePass. This has been out probably a year or two.
Perhaps it is time for them to be redrawn.
But we wanted at Mulehorn Gaming to kind of highlight some games that we recommend that are in Game Pass now for people to play over their holiday, and just highlight the power of Game Pass and that it brings to the table games that you may not purchase right off the bat, may even fly under your radar for a while, and then try throughout the Game Pass. What do you mean, what double XP event? It's double XP in Warzone and Black Ops Cold War, starting today through the 6th. So yeah, if you watch the Snyder Cut and you kind of had the itch of, man, it's not ever going to conclude, or we may never see how it would concluded. These games are where the Snyderverse storyline drew inspiration from. So that's where I've been playing it, and Injustice 2 actually has alternate endings depending on the choices you make at the end of the game and how you confront Brainiac. Will give you different endings. So I chose to fight him with Batman, and I need to go back and make a different choice, I guess, to fight him with Superman to see that alternate ending. So I'll probably be doing that. And then you got to pack it up. Well, I don't. I'll be missing you while you're offline, man. I need you on my fire team. But I'm glad you're getting to make the move and get the home, man. That's great. Really, really proud for you. You have to get pictures when you get settled. So that's our recommendations. We'll go back through them real quick. It was Dark Alliance, the Halo franchise, Gears of War, A Plague Tale: Innocence, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, MLB The Show 21, Injustice 2. There were many others, but I just couldn't write about all of them last night, and I wanted to get this out. So we'll probably bring another smattering of this maybe here in a week or two after the 4th, and try to get some more of those recommendations out of what we at Mulehorn Gaming are really enjoying and think that you should play that are available in Game Pass. So let's get into the news. Here's actually some local news for you, but I think it's really cool. Esports is growing. I know me and Rubric, Dark, Truth, we play a lot in the esports space, but we're not really competing in a lot of tournaments. We'll play some casual tournaments from time to time, but this is a place that's always caught my eye. I think it's really cool that younger people are starting to have opportunities that I did not have growing up, as far as like esports was not thought of in the way it's thought of today. It was kind of you playing video games was definitely leisure time, but it was almost kind of frowned upon, at least where I grew up in the South. I just kind of, my parents looked at it sometimes as a waste of time. But esports is starting to carve out a place in the world where you can earn money, you can go pro. Some of these huge streamers are making millions off of their sponsorships. Broadcasters and others that support the sport or report on esports are finding ways to earn a living. And I just think it's really cool because not everyone can go out and play football or play baseball and be competitive, but there are some people that are disabled that can play at a pro level or highly competitive level in esports, and I think that's really cool. Thanks for the lurk, Rubric. I appreciate it. So here's a little local news for us. Tennessee State University is offering courses in competitive gaming, also known as esports. The announced Monday campus will be getting an academic esports center to open on the main campus this fall. TSU's Smart Innovative Technology Center will oversee the new center, which seeks to promote pathways and increase diversity in STEM and STEAM programs for underserved students. It crosses all disciplines, whether you're in computer science and you're coding the game or designing communication, broadcasting, business education, says Dr. Robbie Milton, Associate Vice President of Smart Innovative Technology Center and Dean of Graduate and Professional Studies at Tennessee State University. Tennessee State University is here in Nashville, but I think I saw South Texas University also has a program like this, and there's others around the country that are starting to do these as well. TSU has launched esports classes and joined esports organizations and leagues that will allow students to improve their gaming skills as well as network with tech companies. A starting salary in esports management is around $67,000 according to sites like ZipRecruiter. We want to go beyond the first shooters, so we have esports for golf coming up, racing, hockey, even gymnastics. $67,000 is not a figure that I would shake a finger at. I mean, that's, if you're starting at 67, that's quite impressive. We are offering this fall certificates as well as moving into a minor and soon to be what you and everyone else would go. How about programming esports, she said. That sentence is a little weird. Esports teams programs with FIFA, Call of Duty, Fortnite, NBA 2K, and Madden. Launching new this fall will be NHL, Rocket League, track and field, Valorant, golf, hockey, and iRacing. More than 170 colleges and universities are members of the National Association of Collegiate Sports and offer officially recognized varsity esports programs. NACE is a nonprofit membership association organized by and on behalf of our member institutes and is the largest member association of varsity esports programs at colleges and universities across the U.S. So while we're camping here, if you're not following our friends over, and they have a network, but the TriStar, you don't have to be in Tennessee to play in this area. TriStar Tennessee Esports and Gaming. This is a great group of people. They've been meeting with Tennessee State University and others around Tennessee to kind of promote esports. These guys are very welcoming. They've been supporting Mulehorn Gaming in our efforts to start some tournaments for Call of Duty Warzone. So if you're not following them, please do so. We want to share the love with them and promote them as well. And just a wholesome group of people that really I just want to promote esports. You know, not just Call of Duty, but Fortnite, Valorant, anything that gets people out and networking and using their skills in the esports way. I think this is really cool. I'm hoping, my kids, they play a lot of basketball. They're not really plugged into esports per se. They play a lot of Fortnite. But if that's what they want to do, I want them to be able to do that. I want to support them. I think as a parent, your child may only be interested in a sport, whether it's esports or traditional sports, for a season, a few years, or less. But I think as a parent, it's more important to support that child while they're trying to figure out where they fit in and their skills. And I'm not saying let them play everything under the sun. I think you want to kind of guide your child. You're good at this, maybe you should focus here. But and I definitely can't have my kids playing every sport under the sun. But ours is really into basketball, and if they want to go try some esports stuff, great. I mean, the benefit to esports, like if you're successful in it, you've got people like Nick Merckx. If you're successful in it, you don't have to. Your body doesn't age out of esports like it might a more physical sport or contact sport like football. You're only going to play that professionally up until maybe in your 30s. You don't have a lot of people playing in your 40s in professional sports, and you're really top. Your peak performance is going to be in your 20s and 30s, so you're not really limited by that in esports. So I think we're really going to see some of these people like Nick Merckx, Ninja, and others sticking around, later into their 50s, who knows, maybe their 60s, as long as they stay relevant. There's not a shelf life of like that on some of them. So I'm really excited to see where esports goes. It's only been around, really maybe 20 years, and only in 10 years has it become more prevalent. So I think it's going to be great for the gaming industry and more. So we'll read through this article real quick. Gaming and esports flourish in the university sandbox of creativity. Universities are no longer wondering how they fit into esports ecosystem. While schools are focused on launching an esports team, many are simultaneously working on developing the next generation of workers who will build and grow the gaming and esports industry to new heights. The University of Maryland is one of many higher educational institutions that has put resources behind their gaming initiatives by opening the Brendan Arb Center for Computer Science and Engineering in 2019. The lead donor, Brendan Arb, attended UMD in 1997 and 1998 before leaving to start his career in video gaming. After years of experience, he co-founded the virtual reality company Oculus, with Facebook acquired for approximately $2 billion in 2014. If only I were so fortunate. It is pioneers like Arab that are setting to give back to the community that helped spark their curiosity in the space for current generation to flourish. So I'll pause right there to say, and I haven't done this yet with my kids, and I hope they're not listening and lock me into this, but we've been doing a lot of basketball camps, and there's a place down in Franklin that we go, and while I was sitting there working, and Amelia was doing her basketball camp, I noticed that they have a virtual reality center there that they're promoting esports. I'd have to look it up to really be able to show you, but I just thought it was like this whole complex is devoted to things like volleyball, basketball, ballet, gymnastics, soccer, and then embedded within the same facility, you've got virtual reality, where you can, log just like everything else. You can go in and book time to do virtual reality for kids. I'm assuming adults, but it was, focused for kids because most of the people using those facilities are younger people. But there's also people coming there for karate and kickboxing and other exercise and fitness classes. So I just like, esports is really starting to become considered relevant and an outlet for things. And I know everybody likes to hate on things like the Kinect. Are we going to see that come back around? Are we going to see VR in the homes? Sony still has theirs. It's not widely utilized, I don't think. Maybe it was, it was marketed in a horrible way, bundling the Kinect with Xbox One. But, once we see Xbox get past the implementation of cloud gaming and cloud gaming, what's to come back? What's to say that their partnership with TVs isn't going to have a built-in sensor bar that allows for people to work out in their homes or something? Esports. I don't think we've seen the last of virtual reality in homes, and it's definitely going to make a presence in esports. 2 UMD students have benefited from the ARB Center, and Galen Stetsuik and Mikhail Sorokin, who met while at school. It was more than the ARB donation that sparked my passion in the virtual reality space. It was the ability to meet with folks like Brendan Arb, which provided us a network to gain access to the equipment and resources needed to launch our game Core Distribution by Implex, a multiplayer VR tank combat video game currently in development. To date, the team has raised $1.2 million over 2 funding raising rounds. Not to be outdone, the Rochester Institute of Technology has their own incubator space called Magic, a university-wide research center with a focus on media, arts, games, interaction, and creativity. Founded in 2013, according to Ritz, a director of the Simone Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Richard DiMartino, one thing that distinguishes us is that Magic is a standalone center directly related to interacting games, including film, animation, and software. Magic has its own outlets with the ability to create games and deliver it through Magic's infrastructure, enabling the students to get course credit for their work. As one of the oldest group educational schools in the country, added DiMartino, 90% of our students are required to a residency program, and game development is very attractive these days. Ben Garvey and Harry McDowell, co-owners of the Great Lake Gaming, a company focused on running virtual and in-person gaming events around the country, viewed Magic as their sandbox of creativity. Although I came to RIT to study coding, it was not in the cards, said Garvey. However, instead of quitting, he shifted his major to game design and entrepreneurship, which saved my college career. Garvey is following the footsteps of other RIT graduate who almost didn't graduate but came back to RIT to donate $50 million 1 week after his startup. Dado, a data protection company, I thought we were talking about the stream, sold to Vista Equity Partners for $1.5 billion, according to Garvey. This donation enabled me to take gap year to launch GLG, and now we have RIT interns. There's a lot of acronyms in here. So, all of that to say, virtual reality, esports, I think is here to stay. And I think as a more mature gamer, I don't know that I'll ever be in the pro space or a highly competitive space. I would like to be, but my time is so, I work in a professional setting. I have kids that I'm trying to support, and they kind of take the forefront. I think I'd probably be more if I'm getting into esports in a support role, I'd love to cover esports and start maybe riding on the scene. I don't know if I could compete in that space. That just might not be in the cards for me, but I think in recognizing it, I can enable my kids and my friends and help promote esports as this is a viable place. Don't put down gamers or other people who focus their time there. Why would we do that? You can make a career in this. You can play these games, uplift people, and host charities and launch these charity events to raise money for people that need it. There was another article I read somewhere that was showing the amounts of money raised was comparable to, I believe it was the NFL. It was just, oh, actually, I think wasn't this article. It was, I think it was a Washington Post article. But anyways, just go to say that esports is here to stay, and it does a lot of great work for the communities to promote people. It's an outlet, just like other sports is. Sports is an outlet for a lot of people. We don't really call it escapism in traditional sports, but when you are in a way escaping when you're playing baseball or soccer or something. Your mind is there playing the sport. You're not really thinking about what's going on at work, what's going on at school. You're there to function in a capacity to perform. And it is a form of escape. That's why these sports have been around for hundreds and thousands of years. Is to take our minds off of the mundane hardship that is life and to put it into something that you can work towards. That's maybe it's a little simple, but it's hard to master, right? In every sport that tends to be the case. You can learn to hit a baseball, but to hit it over the fence or to play at a pro level, that takes years and thousands of hours of practice. And in pursuing that goal, the rest of life seems to fade into the background, into the noise. So this last article, Gaming and Esports Flourish by Creativity, was written by Ellen M. Zavian, a contributor at Forbes. So we're going to get out of this. I don't think I'm going to get to this one today, but this was a very interesting article. The metaverse is growing and you can directly invest in it. This is one of my favorite, we are going to get into it. This is one of my favorite authors, Gene Park, or writers. He's over at the Washington Post, and I think he's always super intelligent in what he writes about. It's not usually controversial topics, but I guess maybe they can be. I think this is more cutting edge. He's talking about the metaverse, and he says the next evolution of the internet, often referred to as the metaverse, is on its way. Still more conceptual than real. Companies from Silicon Valley to Cary, North Carolina, are chasing this goal, and it's unclear what shape the metaverse will take when it arrives. But now, through the creation of a new metaverse-centric fund by a council of advisors from various industries, people can directly invest in it. So this is important if you're I know myself and Thaddeus at Mulehorn Gaming, we like to follow the markets and invest. He's more into crypto than I am, but I like following his strategies and others, and I don't really invest in crypto, but I do like reading up on it. But this is kind of out there. It's kind of cutting edge. This isn't really directly crypto, but it's a little bit something else, something bigger, I think. And this is something that could see myself investing in. A group of 7 counselors from various industries, including journalism and gaming, started an exchange traded fund, ETF, on the New York Stock Exchange on Wednesday. It's a basket of securities that trade like a stock, bundling companies the council deems to be in the best position to build out the metaverse. The ETF is sponsored and maintained by Round Hill Investments. While seeds of the metaverse, best described as an all-encompassing, ever-present internet society, have existed for decades, the pandemic and its resulting global quarantine have not only raised awareness of the metaverse term, but also hastened its formation. The major pivot from in-person work and socialization to online life over the past year plus has expedited the process both in terms of how content is created and distributed, as well as the willingness of consumers to participate in this untraditional, all-digital world. So the article goes on to kind of build upon the concept of the metaverse. Like the mobile internet and the fixed-line internet before it, the metaverse will transform nearly every industry and evolve the creation of countless new businesses, said Matthew Ball, managing partner of venture firm Epelion. Along with his group, created the index and has written influential essays on the ongoing evolution of the metaverse. Joining Ball in the ETF's council are Jerry Hines, former head of enterprise cloud services at NVIDIA, Jacob Navok, co-founder and chief executive of Genvid Technologies, Jesse Walden, managing partner of Variant Fund, Jonathan Glick, former New York Times senior vice president in product and technology, Anna Sweet, chief executive of Bad Robot Games, and Imran Sarwar, formerly from Rockstar North, where among other projects he worked as a co-producer and designer of Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Online, the most profitable entertaining product ever made. Keep those in mind. It comes back to this later in the article. Ball said Roundhill and his company got a small percentage for investment in the index. Epic Games chief executive Tim Sweeney has been loud in his intention for the publisher's popular battle royale game Fortnite to become a big part of the metaverse. Not the metaverse, a part of the metaverse. Meanwhile, gaming platform Roblox, which has allowed a generation of kids to create own virtual worlds and experiences, went public earlier this year and it had a market cap of $52 billion as of June. Despite the increasing prevalence of the term, the nebulous nature of the metaverse has caused many to misinterpret the term. Some analysts and media articles have mistakenly labeled Call of Duty Warzone a metaverse, just because it included Rambo and other action entertainment properties in the game, which is similar to Fortnite. But the metaverse is more than just a game that incorporates other companies' intellectual property. Instead, it's an internet where people will more tangibly replicate many common aspects of real-world life, including socialization, commerce, and entertainment. Ball has written several essays in recent years that popularize observations on the metaverse. As part of the fund, Ball is writing an additional series of essays that establish the framework of the metaverse and how to think of it. Just as the iPhone or Facebook can be called the internet, neither can one video game, whether it's Fortnite, Roblox, can be referred to as the metaverse, Ball said. But video games help widespread acclamation and understanding of a metaverse can operate. Ball writes in his essays detailing the slow but steady industrial adoption of electricity and compared it to the rise of mobile internet and the factors that led to the groundbreaking invention of the iPhone. The internet was once envisioned as the information superhighway and the World Wide Web. Neither of these descriptions were particularly helpful in planning for 2010 or 2020, least of all in understanding how the world in almost every industry would be transformed by the internet, Ball said. He added that even if user-generated content was predicted, the specific ways of how social platforms Twitch or TikToks are used were not anticipated. How would we ever have envisioned a bunch of adults on TikTok? I mean, the content on TikTok is unique. I'm starting to acquire a taste for some of it, and then some of it I'm just like, this is just out there. I've been letting my daughter help me a lot with my TikTok and be my social media manager. So if you follow me on TikTok, Coffee Junkie 22, it is a little bit. We lean into the TikTok. TikTok allows a little bit more freedom, I think. So we kind of, me and Amelia play around in that space. It creates a little bit more freedom for us. So I'm letting her kind of lead and tell me what she thinks and how we should build a brand for myself out there. So the behavior of I won't start back in that sentence. China's internet users are likely ahead in terms of its adoption. Tencent, the tech conglomerate that holds significant stakes in U.S. film companies and gaming studios. You know what? Hold the phone. I think Tencent actually is heavily invested. Community health systems. As well, I think. Yeah. So, if you really want my plans on another place you could invest, let's look up community health system stocks. Been going crazy. I don't work for this company. I work for a company that sort of competes. Well, looks like it hasn't done so well lately, but it was climbing there for a bit. I mean, it's still up in the past 6 months, 113%. 20.79 over 5 years. So anyways, I mean, Tencent is not only investing in gaming in the metaverse, but they're also investing in healthcare, which I was going to come back to that point later. So I'll come back to this in my rabbit trail that I just went down. Ball writes that generational change is going to lead this global shift in how people create and consume content. Some parents dismiss Roblox as a virtual babysitter or a distraction for their kids. Even digital native millennials might scoff at why children would want to use technology that appears primitive. Because the graphical fidelity in Roblox, I mean, it's not, I don't even know if it's quite there for Minecraft. I think Minecraft would probably be slotted ahead. Not fully understanding the creative potential Roblox may be unlocking. But anyways, I don't think I finished this. Tencent, the tech conglomerate, holds significant stakes in U.S. film companies and gaming studios, has a diverse portfolio that includes investments in Epic Games. Additionally, app WeChat has already been called a 2D metaverse, a place in which customers can do practically anything. Users can socialize, shop, create, pay for things in the real world, and communicate for work. And this article did not hit on healthcare, but it's there. There's an anchor there. Today's generation of children express themselves, often learn, and constantly socialize through virtual worlds they can touch, change, and collaborate in. That's not going to stop, Ball wrote in his essay. Rather than the capabilities of these virtual worlds will expand, their ease of use will improve, and their significance will grow. What's more, the iPad native generation will continue to mature. Most are still consumers, a few are creators, and most none are business leaders. They will be, and their frames of reference will lead to transformative change. So, to go back to the healthcare piece, and actually, I mentioned this in my tweet, and Gene Park liked it. And I wasn't even going down this thing. I didn't even make the connection to Tencent yesterday. And if you don't believe me, where'd it go? Here we go. Let's go to the author. Gene Park said a group from various industries, including an ex-New York Times product executive and designer for Grand Theft Auto Online, started a fund in the stock exchange to help investors navigate the incoming metaverse, the evolution of the internet. It makes total sense to see a former New York executive having close interest in observing the forming of the metaverse. I can't help but look at the metaverse through the lens of what it could do to journalism and social media companies, which already struggle today. I particularly enjoy at Ball Matthews' recollection of the babies from 2010-2011 who would swipe at magazines confused it was an iPad. These babies are now 10 years old and are sophisticated consumers of media content. This is not going to stop. And this was before I even made the connection to Tencent and community health systems. I totally agree. I am also interested in how the metaverse will impact healthcare. I had my first telemedicine doctor's appointments during the pandemic. I have a much greater appreciation for this type of healthcare on this side of the pandemic. And he liked that. But to go on to say, telemedicine is evolving, but healthcare tends to be behind in how it moves compared to like gaming or some of these more cutting edge technologies. We've seen these marketplace transactions for years in games like Battlefront which we saw the backlash against those loot boxes and kids who might buy them, but not so much. We've got kids spending $20 a pop for Fortnite skins that are now Epic is heavily leaning into pulling in franchise like Marvel and DC content and things like that that they don't necessarily own, and now you've kind of got this other thing, games that are building out these EFT, crypto, or blockchain transactions. I might do a different. I don't want to go down that, but basically, oh God, I will. Games utilizing blockchain. There was one I'd sent over to Thaddeus. What was the name of it? I think it was Block Party. I can't type. Blanco's Block Party, there it is. So this game, Blanco's Block Party, NFT. So this game, they were featured in E3, but it kind of flew under the radar. It's basically kind of leaning into the vinyl pop culture, collector's culture, and then you have the code chain to your character, and as you play the game, you can further change, skill up. It's kind of almost like you're playing these little block party games, almost like Mario Block Party or something that's kind of party games, and then you're collecting these vinyls, these virtual vinyls, and then you can turn around and actually sell them because you own it. You own the blockchain to that. So that's going to be another piece of the metaverse is collecting. We've seen the music industry start to lean into this. It hasn't really quite caught on, but I think it will. So I think all of that's to say, like healthcare, the crypto, EFT stuff, it's all going to come to a head in this metaverse, and now you're able to kind of invest in it. Telemedicine, I think the pandemic really pushed that. I went into a couple of just kind of like allergy visits and things like that, and it was just, for me, it was free. It was a huge benefit. I didn't have to expose myself to all these other sick people. I just met with a doctor through my laptop, and then was able to get the meds I needed and get better. So I think that's all going to be huge. I'm not big on collecting things, but I think this is going to be awesome for people that are. I think eventually we might see something like this in Fortnite. What's to say you don't have some sort of unique creator module where you can get certain tools unlocked, and by playing the game you can unlock something that you can make and then turn around and sell within Epic. I mean, Epic is looking at this. When they're investing in the metaverse, and other people are investing in them because of the metaverse, Epic is already thinking about this NFT blockchain market. I might come back and do a whole segment on Blancos to create some more context around it. But basically, Blancos has this whole market within the game where you can securely buy and trade these vinyls. So close these. My one last point, and then this is getting some traction this morning. I was seeing it on social media where people are really hating on this guy, and I wanted to say this for last. Oh, I may not be able to read the full story, but here it is. So basically, this guy Max Hayden, don't go hating on him. Leave the guy alone. As far as like, don't connect with him. You're free to your thoughts. We can verbally or through chat actually talk about them. But he has been scalping or reselling all sorts of equipment. Looks like he's got swimming pools there, all sorts of Amazon boxes. That looks like one of those battery-powered Ryobis. I'm sure that was, you know, he's been targeting things that were in short supply during the pandemic. Some of those were video game consoles. The Wall Street Journal has a very favorable article of him that's out that you can read. Somehow I was able to read the full story this morning, and now it's kicking me out. But basically, it goes on to say that he's made about, I think, 100, a little over 100, like 110, 115,000 in a year. Spent about a little over $1 million in all of his revenue, but profited about 115,000. So it labels him a reseller, not a scalper. Then you come over here to Kotaku. Wall Street Journal praises kid reselling PS5s, Pokemon cards, which sucks. It mentions nothing about swimming pools, nothing about the landscaping equipment or anything else. I don't think this guy's solely made his profit off of the Xbox Series X and Pokemon cards. Kotaku can be so freaking divisive sometimes, but let's just read it. Spent the last 18 months buying and selling things on the internet, which particularly focus on elusive video game consoles like PlayStation 5. I don't think the Wall Street Journal said that. He's also been buying up and selling Xbox Series X consoles, Pokemon cards, and sneakers. It did mention sneakers and Pokemon cards, but it didn't give volume as how much of that he was selling. In other words, he's a reseller, someone who buys a product at a retail price, then having bought something that's otherwise sold out, flips it at an inflated demand-driven price. That is true. Reselling effing sucks, for reasons I'm sure that you're already aware of, but that I'm going to list here anyway. For starters, reselling makes it harder to buy things that you want to buy, since it's being bought by people who don't want the thing, they only want the value associated with it. Then the practice makes buying that thing a lot more expensive, since resellers by definition charge more for their stock than a store would have. Finally, it's just so bleak as a principle. It's a market conjured entirely out of thin air, the most miserable late-stage capitalism industry imaginable. Reselling exists to serve no purpose other than to enrich those able to crowbar their way between a product and its intended market. I think we've got the gist. This kind of hates on the Wall Street Journal. Their profile on the teen is gushing. He's a bootstrapping kid, wildlife entrepreneur, someone smart enough to see a way to make money and just take it. It marvels at the amount of money he's making, $1.7 million. He didn't make that money. That was his revenue. His profit was 110 in profits. Okay. And labels him a tech-savvy teen who exploits the supercharged resale market for scarce goods. Did nobody at the Wall Street Journal stop to consider that these goods are scarce in large part because of resellers? No. Or reread this. So we're not privy to the market. We know the scalpers and resellers are out there. We know they're buying up these products and selling them at inflated prices. But we also know that the chip industry, the chipsets, they can't be manufactured fast enough. Xbox has come out with a way to go through your console and the preview program to reserve. I don't know if PlayStation has anything like that. They might have implemented something, but that is a way to get around the scalpers. We've recently got an Xbox Series X through the All Access program. It's a subscription service where you get 2 years of Xbox GamePass Ultimate, your live subscription, and the console, I think it's $35 a month. and so you're not having to pay all that up front. So I think over the course of 2 years, it's about $800. So you got the console, which is $500. Then you've got 2 years of GamePass, which is another few hundred, and then tax on top of that. So I guess I just want to say, if my kid made $100,000, over $100,000 in a year, selling things on the internet, hell yeah! Like, this dude just paid for his college or whatever. He's got a successful business. I don't think either one of these articles is very reflective. We don't know. This kid, don't go ahead. I think it's taking advantage of the guy. You know, like he doesn't seem predatory. I remember when the pandemic started and you had guys that were buying toilet paper and PPE and things for healthcare. This guy's just selling Xboxes. He's just selling PlayStations, and he's not even selling that many. We don't even have numbers. He's selling luxury goods to people that are purchasing them. It's your own prerogative. If you want to pay $1,000, $1,500 for something that you can wait, Xbox, you can play these games on the cloud now. You play them through xCloud. But I mean, if you got a trust fund and you want to pay $1,500 and you have to have it now, go for it. I don't know. I'm torn. Maybe Wall Street Journal got to me, but this article got to me too. Like, this goes along and says, kind of hates on capitalism. I mean, that's the world we live in. You know, what do you want? Do you want your government to come in and regulate these people? That's what some people are crying for. How would they do that? I'm a laissez-faire type of person. Like, just live and let live. Because if you regulate that, then they're going to come regulate other things. It'll all pan out. As the markets and the supply chain come back online and we come out of this pandemic, the demand for these goods is going to come down as the companies are able to get them out. These scalpers aren't going to be able to always make money off of flipping consoles. It wasn't happening before the pandemic. It's not going to happen after. It's just a perfect storm of events. Eventually they'll go away. They'll have to go find other things that are in a tight squeeze to make a profit off of. He's not going to be able to keep this up forever. And Kotaku just needs to just chill out. Just calm down.
Hey, Dad.
Yes, ma'am.
We got a win, and we're starting Fast and Furious 6.
That's awesome. So, don't really support them. This article's ridiculous. I understand everybody's mad and fed up. This one is leaning into your emotions to try to get you fired up for clicks. The Wall Street Journal is probably a little bit over. I don't know. I mean, the people that read Wall Street Journal, they make money. They want to learn how to make money. That's the only reason this kid is able to do this, is probably his parents have given him a nest egg. Here's $50,000, $20,000. They keep writing him a check. He goes and buys the product with the bot. He even said himself, he had pre-ordered 10 of these. I think he had pre-ordered 10 of the consoles. I can't remember the ratio of what, before they launched. So his original consoles he bought at market price. He did sell them at a higher value. I can't remember what he said. And then he turned around and flipped that money back into his business to buy more to sell them at an elevated price. I mean, it sucks because we can't get a hold of one, but I don't think this kid's the reason we can't get a hold of one. The reason is the industry can't make them, just like they can't make the trucks fast enough. You know, the chipset shortage is a big factor in new vehicles are outrageously expensive right now, or they can't make them fast enough. Used cars are way up. There was a time you couldn't get a webcam because they were selling out. Like, it's been a weird year. And if this guy was able to find a way to make some money, more power to him. It sounds like he was killing himself to do it. He was going to school and then working 40 to 60 hours a week. He's managing 2 people. He's also managing his stock, where it was going to be stored. If you're doing it off of luxury goods, I don't know. It's hard for me to victimize the kid or not victimize, vilify the kid. But Kotaku has no problem doing that. And last but not least, there is my stuff. So that's really all I have to talk about today. I've rambled for a while. Be patient with me. I probably bit off a little bit more than I should have, but I've got the day off, so that got us through about an hour and a half worth of content of where the news is today. Gaming wise, what have I been playing lately? Like I said, Batman Arkham Knight. I just started that one. Mobile, I've been playing a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons here or there, and the Telltale games through xCloud. I think those games are performing well. Games that aren't so reactive based. I think Halo Wars or RTS games would probably be a great addition to game streaming. There's not a lot of that right now in xCloud, I don't think. I think there might be a roller coaster tycoon based game in there. That might be a good one. I like to play chill games because usually when I'm playing, I'm either visiting on the road or maybe in my bed. You know, my wife's watching something on the TV and I just want to be near her in the same room and, you know, play something that way with my headphones on. Something like that, or maybe I just want to chill out on the couch with the kids. So if you're not familiar with Mulehorn Gaming, be sure you follow us, bookmark our webpage. We're a independent gaming news outlet. We're not paid, it's free. We do this because we like to do it. So you're not going to get a biased approach from us. We can kind of thread the needle, if you will, between some of these more polar opposites. Like you've got the Wall Street Journal this morning, and you've got Kotaku, and where do we fit? I'm right there on the line, like, okay, who cares? Everybody just cool your jets. The consoles are going to be here. They're going to come. We're starting to see the not capture cards, the GPUs starting to get reports that they're starting to hit the market a little bit faster. That's a good sign. That's probably going to mean that the consoles are as well. I'm constantly seeing on Twitter people are starting to get their consoles. GameStop's got to sell. Walmart or whoever, we got one through All Access. That should be here pretty soon. Radical is able to get one, so I think we're starting to come out of this slump. The scalpers are going to fade in the distance. Don't go out there swatting the guy or whatever it is people like to do these days on the internet and trying to tear him down. I don't think the world needs that right now. I don't think he's sold his soul to the devil. I think he's just out to make a buck and profit. I wish I could have made an extra $110,000 this year as well. Why not? If that discredits me in your eyes, go for it. Sorry. I think with that, I'm going to check in and see. I think my kids just started watching Fast and the Furious. We're going to make our first debut tonight and go out and watch the Fast and the Furious movie. I think I'm going to pull the stream down and then relaunch it later. We'll find something to eat. I don't know what I'm going to come back and play. Maybe some single player stuff if Rubric is around and he wants to play some Warzone. Might do that. It is 2x XP this week. Or I might play some Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But for now, I think I'm going to go stretch, find some grub, and then come back under the gaming directory. But I appreciate you all being around here in this just chatting sector. I'm really trying to get in a space where I get my thoughts out there in video, not just written format. Let me know if you like this. Is this something that you appreciate from me? I do like to hear your thoughts and comments and feedback and support. Oh, you're not gonna let me go there. Oh, I guess I need a .com. Here's my author page. So you can get a little feel for who I am. If it'll go there. So we've been writing on Halo Infinite. The game cloud changes, Xbox cloud changes, and GamePass updates. Call of Duty, I write a lot on Call of Duty. That's mostly what I play. And then just try to cover, you know, what's going on. Valhalla. So I've been doing some reviews. I need to do another review pretty soon. I need to reach out to Dart. The Outer Worlds. I've even done some TV. I did Clone Wars. I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I'll get back to do some TV. Stranger Things. I really love doing that one. And then back in the day, I used to do some Destiny and Sea of Thieves as well. So I've been writing for Mulehorn Gaming for 2 years now. It's been fun. I think I want to keep doing it. Keep writing. So I've almost got through this whole coffee with you all. I gotta go find some grub though. It was a hot minute since breakfast. I typically stream on Twitch these days on Friday nights, Warzone. Like I said, I'm off today, so I'll probably get some bonus streaming in there, doing some gameplay. But yeah, that's my scheduled days for now. Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. That's where I do most of my general musings when I'm not writing. I am on YouTube, and I'll try to get this content over there. I'll probably divvy it up in the kind of each topic. So thank y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy your 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. And remember why we're able to enjoy these freedoms, the sacrifices that our armed services men and women have made for us. Thank you for watching this. Thank you to everyone who stopped by to support me, Pyro, Rubric, Hero, and for all your lurks and everything. Stay safe. Enjoy your fireworks, your food, your beverages, whatever it is you're doing, your family. And I'll see you later on the flip side. This is Coffee Junkie signing off.